I'm muted. See, I caught that. So no maloa. My intuition was strong. It was check it, your mic is muted. So welcome, and you can put your name. Well, we're going to see your name, but your zodiac stuff, your human design type, if you want to, and where you're logging in from, because then people can connect. Hey, I'm a manifesting generator too, or hey, I'm a Leo rising. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Is it this one? No, wrong one. Okay. Can you hear me? Jesus. Oh God. Okay. We will start again. We will start again because I thought I caught that. Okay, I'm gonna keep my sound up here. This is just the resistance. It's just the resistance. No one's to blame. It's just the force of resistance here. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to say, or I actually said before, is I'm going to do the prosperity class next week because of the timing issue. Because we're having a major solar eclipse, major event, astrological event next week. So I wanted to talk about that more. That's where the energy was, and then the prosperity, which is really a class, right? I've started working on it. It feels like a webinar, like a little mini webinar. Okay. So here's the game, right? I'm a projector, so I'm going to give you the context again. That we're evolving as a humanity. It's a real thing. So we're evolving through that emotional body, right? Our emotional body. No way around this. This is where all the action is for us right now. And then we're going through a solar plexus mutation, right? So this is the second brain, the brain behind the physical stomach. And then this in turn moves us into spirit awareness, right? So this is where we're headed. So what's really happening here with the people that I've been talking to and myself and my own experience is this is being neutered, this ego, this not self in human design. So this is the false identity, right? The false identity that you believe is you. And this identity may have followed you from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So now it's being dismantled. You're like Humpty Dumpty, right? You're falling off the wall. The ego's falling off the wall and cracking into pieces. And it can seem very chaotic, right? In your life, like what's happening? I'm having health problems. I'm having financial issues. I'm having crazy relationship issues. Like I'm just completely losing control. Well, you're Humpty Dumpty, right? And resurrecting yourself as your authentic self, right? So any loss that you're experiencing right now and challenges, this is the unconscious being made conscious, right? All those deep, deep fears are coming up to the surface so that you can feel them through this emotional body, right? So like I say to people, don't make up a story about it. These deep emotions are coming up, right, to the surface so that you can feel them, and they're directly connected to these old identities that are disappearing. They're dissolving, but it's painful, right? It's a real thing. So don't create a story about it. There's something wrong with me. I got to go out and get antidepressants and I need to do this and I need to do... It's just like, no, just let it feel. Let the process happen, right? This dissolving process. It's a good thing. This is a real good thing because you're going to be resurrected as your true self, right? As we move through this. So this ego, like I just said when I was silenced, is... this is the cause of all the suffering in the world, right here. If we could solve one problem on the planet, it wouldn't be the homelessness and poverty and violence and war. It would be this. This is the root of it all, right here is this ego, right? And so the Piscean age, the last 2,000 years have been ruled by this ego. So this is what's really letting go, right? The source of what's happening right now. This is being dismantled and neutered. Okay? And then the cross of the sleeping phoenix, 2027. This is all about the liberation of your spirit. This is the new global cycle that we're going to be entering into till 2438. So living as a soul in a body. This is the liberation of your spirit. This is good news, right? But it takes effort. It takes spiritual effort. Okay, so let's go to the solar eclipse here. So this is the sun. You can't see the sun because I'm just getting the irony of that. That my image is blocking the sun right here. Okay, so the eclipse, the solar eclipse, is this moon seems to be blocking the sun. And isn't that ridiculous, isn't it? Right? This is so the ego. The moon blocking the sun. So the sun is like the higher self. That's what it represents. And then the moon is the mind, the ego, your past, that seems to be blocking the sun. It's like if you take your thumbnail, maybe you did this when you were a kid, right? And you hold up your thumb to the sun and it seems like it's blocking the sun, your little tiny thumb. Is it really blocking the sun? No, it's an illusion, right? So the illusion is this ego is blocking your higher self. Right? Your power, your authenticity. This is what this represents. And then this is the earth. This is the physical. So there's a lot of suspicion around eclipses, right? By the ancients. It's like, what happened to the sun, the fear, all that stuff coming up. So what this does is interrupts business as usual. There's an interruption so that you can come face to face with this mind. You can come face to face with this ego, right? You can really, really see it during a solar eclipse, and you can feel it. You can feel that identity that's been running you, right? That's been running your life. And you're going to be able to realize at the end of the solar eclipse, because this can be like a dark night of the soul, right? A dark night of the soul is when you feel like you're cut off from your intuition, you're cut off from the divine and God, and that you still have to make this leap of faith, right? It seems like the moon is covering the sun, but I have faith that the sun is still there. I have faith that the divine is still there. I have faith that my higher self is still there. Right? But that's the beauty, is being able to see it, right? You'll be able to see this. It's gonna be right there in your face. Some more good news. Okay? So that's how it works, and it's really powerful because it's connected to the north node of the moon, right? The north node of the moon. So the lunar eclipse that we're having in May, that's connected to the south node of the moon, and that's all the karmic stuff to let go of. But the solar eclipse is it's about getting us on our destiny, our correct path, and it's about this is the block right here that you're going to see and be able to let go of. The other big news was Jupiter, right? Jupiter went conjunct the sun. This is the solar eclipse chart according to human design. But Jupiter went into, Jupiter and the sun came into the zodiac sign of Aries on April 11th, just a couple days ago. And this signifies a whole new cycle, a 12-year cycle, because it takes 12 years for it to circle around back to Jupiter, Sun, Aries. So this is a story. Jupiter represents your story, what story you've been playing out. And it's the guru, it's the teacher, the spiritual teacher in Vedic astrology, right? So something is coming to an end that has ended. And you're probably feeling like there's something ending, but maybe you're not seeing the new yet, right? So this is what the solar eclipse is going to show us too, what new stories are coming. So if we look at it, it was conjunct. I checked it out. I did a chart on this. Well, back in April 2011, what was going on? Right? Reflect on what was going on then. Well, it was conjunct in the 51, right? And this is the willpower center here. There's no activations here during the solar eclipse. The 51. This is the shadow of shock, right? So shock. And it was all about being initiated into your awakening, right? So that cycle ended. So I'm sure you went on a lot of adventures, like a lot of us did. Maybe you don't recognize yourself from 2011, but this is ending, right? This is ending. So what is Jupiter? Is the guru. What's guru? Guru means that which takes you from the darkness into the light. That which takes you from the darkness of the ego, because that's right? That's what the solar eclipse is showing. It's darkening the light, right? Takes you from the darkness of the ego into the light of awareness, into the light of your soul, right? So it's very, very powerful when Jupiter moves, right? This is about expansion, right? Jupiter expands everything. So what's expanding is maybe not necessarily your external life. Well, there's not, right? I went through the Jupiter Sun conjunction, and all these astrologers were saying this. I'm going to be really lucky, and this will happen, and that will happen. Not necessarily, right? This is an internal expansion, right? This upside down world now. It's internal expansion. You're expanding into your greater self, which on the external can look like contraction and losses. Right? There can be losses, but there's gains in spirit. There's gains in spirit. And so some new stories happening for you. And your worldview is being expanded. You're being elevated up, upgraded, right? And this is really about traveling. Maybe not in the external world traveling. Some people have to play it out on the external. But this is really traveling in consciousness, right? And so it was in the 51 back in April 2011. And then in April 11th, 2023, a couple days ago, it was in 42. And you can see it's still in the 42 Jupiter. And the sun's moved on, right? It's well, for the solar eclipse, it's going to be in the 3. So this is the shadow of expectation, right? So that's the shadow, expecting your life to go a way maybe that it's not going. This is all about the mind. The shadow is all about the mind, and it's about the past. And so what are the gifts, right? So back in 2011, maybe you experienced a shock and you were kicking and screaming. Right? You're kicking and screaming, but you're really being initiated into your awakening. Well, this time it's to let go of your expectations, especially now. We're leaving the cross of planning. There's no planning life anymore. We don't know where life is going to take us individually or as a humanity, but we know it's going to be somewhere better, right? So letting go of expectation, right? Expecting your life it should have been this way by now. I should be married by now. I should be making this much money. I should know my soul purpose. Like, let all that go. Let it all go. And the gift here is detachment. And then you can really allow life, like surrender to life, and really allow life to take you, right? You're surrendering to life. And then what comes out of here is celebration, right? Celebrating life. So this is the gate of growth. You can see the 42, right? It's coming off the sacral there. And the fear here with the 42, with the expectation, is fear of time running out. I'm not going to have enough time. And huge disappointments, right, with the 42. So the 42 is also about endings. Like everything that we see in the phenomenal world out here has an expiry date, right? It was born, I want to say born, and that it expires, everything, even including your experiences, even including your physical body, right? But this is the closing out of cycles. It's a death that can represent growth, but it also can represent death. And this is what Jupiter shows us too, right? There's death that comes in. Something has to die so that something can come in. So Jupiter can bring losses for people, not just gains, like the internal gains, but there'll be losses to allow this new to come in, to be reflected, right? Your internal self expands, and then the external world will reflect that expansion back to you. So I wanted to mention that, right? We are in a whole new cycle, a 12-year cycle, until Jupiter conjuncts Sun in Aries again. Okay, so there's the moon and the sun right there. The moon and the sun for the solar eclipse. So the moon and sun, that makes them conjunct, are both in the 3. And there's the 3. And look, isn't that wild? We've got 3 channels, right? That's rare. 3 channels defined for a transit chart. And so this is chaos. And really interesting too. Well, maybe I'll talk about that when we get into channels. So it's the shadow of chaos. It's the gift of innovation. And it's the city of innocence. That's the 3 right there. And it's coming off the sacral. This is the life force energy. And so the ancient term for this is difficulty at the beginning. Difficulty at the beginning. So this is showing us that, yes, there's going to be a whole new beginning, okay? But this is not the time to act with the solar eclipse, because you can see, right? The light is being hidden from you, right? So this goes for all new moons, actually. It's not, you don't initiate until it gets into the little crescent moon, like 3 days later. The new moon is just the seeding time. It's still like a a dark time, right? Imagine a seed being put into the soil, right? So so that's the 3, and this is part of the channel of mutation, and you can see here Pluto in the 60 is activating that channel with the 3, the moon and the sun in the 3 here. So really, really interesting to me is that because I did the lunar eclipse too coming up in May, early May, this same channel is defined, right? And clearly the sun's not going to be there, right? It's still in the 3, but Mercury is going to take its place. So the Mercury will be in the 3, and then Pluto will be in the 60. So I talked about this channel before, this huge mutative channel. And you may have this one yourself, right? This channel of mutation. But anyway, let's talk about this 3. The shadow of the 3 is clinging to old forms, right? Old ways of being that are limiting, right? So maybe you're letting go of, diet. Like, let's just bring it to the physical because the North Node is in Taurus, 27. Letting go of old ways of eating. Like, you just can't eat those processed GMO foods anymore. Maybe you could play around right before. I noticed that even with my own diet. I used to be able to play, push the boundaries a little bit, and I'd be okay. And now it's like, no. My body is like, no, 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 no. So this is about letting go of these old forms, old ways of thinking, right? And the great thing about the solar eclipse is you're really going to see how your mind works, right? Like maybe you'll have the awareness of like, I can't believe how negative my thinking is. I go to glasses half empty every time. I assume the worst, right? So that you can correct these things. You can correct them because once you see them and you understand, then they go, right? Then before you're just ignorant to it. You don't know how much it's affecting you, right? So this is a real gift, this solar eclipse. I would suggest you meditate, right, on that day, just to really, like, I want to just be receptive to what I need to see at this time in my life. Okay, so that's Jupiter, Moon, Sun. Okay, and back to the 42 is there still. So this is about embracing inner chaos, right? So difficulty at the beginning. Whenever we start something new, there's chaos. We can experience chaos. So it can be chaos on the external world as everything is moving around, right? Because it's got to reflect the changes that are going on inside, right? So things needs time. We live in time and space, right? To create like the new Matrix movie for you. So not to cling on to old forms, right? That's the shadow. That are limiting. That's 60, right? That are limiting to you. And this is about embracing inner chaos, like emotional inner chaos, right? And this can be really coming up too, as the identity's getting flushed out of you, right? That's false. That's not authentic to you. It comes with emotion, so that can be experienced as chaos. And it's just purging, right? It's purging out of you. So trusting your process, not fighting it, like just accepting it, and trust in the self-organizing force of life, right? Life is correcting itself, right, for you. And then I looked at the tarot card. So this is connected to the 3, the 3, right? Because there's a tarot card that's not picked at random. So this is the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Wands. So the key words here are home, celebrate. Isn't that interesting? Celebrate, because back to the Jupiter in the 42, right, is celebration. That's the city there. I thought that was interesting. And gratitude, appreciation, and it can be divine union. So this some tarot readers call it the twin flame card, but you can also look at it as an internal union of your masculine and feminine energy as alchemy. So the questions here is, where's your spiritual home? So this is the home card, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean like an external home, but where's your home, right? Are you up? Is this your home? Right here with the ego? You and the ego all snuggled up together, right? You channeling that ego. Is that your home? Your mind, is that your home? Or is it in your heart, right? Is it in your being, your eternal self? Is that your home, right? So this is good questions to ask yourself, like, where are you living? I'm too much in the material. The earth is my home. The material world is my home. There's no stability there. There's no 401s there. In the earth right now, it's so shifting. Everything on the material world is shifting so rapidly. And have you gone through a period of rapid growth and expansion with the solar eclipse here in the 3? And it's time to take some time to reflect on this, like how much growth and expansion you've gone through. And this is a time to have gratitude and appreciation for your spiritual effort, the spiritual effort that you've put in, right? Over these 12 years, especially, right, with Jupiter coming into a new 12-year cycle. So taking time. So the 4 of Wands is really like you're climbing the mountain. That's what the spiritual journey can seem like. I love that metaphor, is you're climbing the mountain, and then this solar eclipse is like, just take some time to sit on the plateau before you keep climbing, right? And have some gratitude and appreciation for this rapid growth that we've all been in since especially 2020, right? So not a time for action, taking action, even though it's Aries, right? So if you go into the shadow of Aries, it's like, I want to move forward and I've got this idea and I'm going to do it. And it's like, no, there's still obscurity there. That mind and ego are still keeping by an illusion, like keeping the light from reaching you. It's like, wait, even a couple days right after the solar eclipse. So then you're going to get the full information. You'll get all the information that you need. Because when you're operating from the ego and the mind, this is all about the past, right? The mind is all about the past. This cross of the sleeping phoenix, I don't have it here, but we're coming more into the present moment, where it's fresh and creative, right? What comes to you, this is all the past. And the past is gone. It's dead, right? Our past is dead. All it is a memory inside in this mind and ego. And then the channels. So you may have these yourself. So remember, with the transit chart, it's not your natal chart unless you have these channels yourself, and then you're going to be doubly impacted by them. If not, like myself, I don't have the 3 or the 60, but I'm going to be impacted by the channel of mutation, right? So you want to look at that. And as I said before, as a projector, because projectors know energy, you can harness that energy. As long as you know and you're aware, like, no, this isn't my energy. I know it's going to end, but I'm going to use it, right? I'm going to use it to move forward in my life if it's correct for me. Okay? So the channel of mutation, I've talked before in my other videos more at length. And this is very mutative. So you may have this yourself. So the thing to recognize here is that it comes with melancholy. That's the chemistry inside the body. So you can feel a bit low, a bit down, right? A bit down. So knowing that this is not something to be worried or concerned about. It's a gestation period. There's something gestating in the darkness, right? And then it will come into the light, right? Then the innovation comes, right? The innovation. And 60 is all about manifestation too, the gift. That will come in its own time. Like, you have no control over when it comes, right? So it operates in a pulse. It's off, on. Off, on, on. There's no rhythm to it, right? You're not going to be able to track it or anything like that. And so when this happens, what is this saying? A huge mutation which goes through the aura of the whole globe. And we got it in the lunar eclipse too, right? So we're in a really mutative period right now. And this means quantum leaps forward with this channel of mutation during a solar eclipse. So this is going to get you on your destiny for sure. So trust that any losses, that like doors are being shut in your life, that there's going to be doors opening and you're going to see, oh, there's the path. There's my path. And then you've got the 3955. I actually have this natally, so I know this really well. And this is the channel of emoting. So we've got the 39 is in Mars, right? Yeah, it's in Mars. 39's in Mars, and then the 55 is in Saturn. So Mars and Saturn activating this. So the root, so there's this pressure. We're getting the pressure of the channel mutation, and then this pressure of finding the right spirit, right? In others and yourself, because I can provoke my own self too with this channel. And the 55's gone through a huge mutation. This is the shadow of the victim, right? That's got to leave the planet. Victim, provocation, these two, right? So this is going to be very emotional. It's going to be a very emotional time. And just with Pluto, too, is deep, deep emotions in the 60. And then this is going to activate the solar plexus right here so that you can find the right spirit for you. What's right for me in this life, in my next chapter of my life, right? So you got that. Anything else I want to say about this? This can bring up food stuff, too. The 3955 has to deal with food and mood. You want to be in, this is all about the right mood. I only do things when I'm in the right, this is the right mood. Has nothing to do with the ego, right? Mood, because the egos can be, I don't want to do that because I'm resistant. I want to throw a red herring over there so that you get distracted from your authenticity and your power. That's completely different than this, right? This is am I in the right mood to do this? And my spirit will show me if this is right for me or not. And then you've got the 2750, and this is the channel of nurturing. So the North Node is activating the 27. It has since February. And then the Earth, right, is 50. So that's the shadow of corruption and the shadow of selfishness, this 2750. So this is all about values, right? And then the North Node's in there too. So it's what are you valuing now? The solar eclipse is going to show you, right? This energy as a collective too, like what do we value? Our values have been really changing since 2020. What do I value now, right? Is it just material? Is it just money? Am I valuing my friendships, my relationships more? Am I valuing my soul purpose? Do I have spiritual values? The North Node in Taurus is showing us that, right? Like what are our true values, as a humanity? So a good way to look at it is like, where do I spend my money? That's going to show you what your values are really, really quickly. Go through your credit card bill or your debit card bank thing, right? To look at what you've been spending your money on. And this has to shift. Our values have to shift now. They have to be more aligned with our spirit and our soul, and has nothing to do with religion. It's values that are intrinsic to you. They're not somebody else telling you, you should value this and you should value that, because people are going to have different values than you, right? Not everybody's going to have the same values as you. But more importantly, you have to value yourself. That's what Taurus teaches. You have to value yourself. You have to value your soul and the gifts and talents that you've come into this on this planet with, right? This is your soul purpose, that you're here to contribute something to the whole, to the collective. So the values have to change. And then the 27 is also about caring for yourself and caring for others. The North Node is showing us that. And there's this mutation that's going to affect our whole environment. So you may be an agent. If you have this channel, you're definitely an agent for evolution, an agent for change, just by being yourself, right? Okay. Let me look at some comments here. Okay. Oh, thank you, Wicked Snail. Todd James, C Moon. Hello, Cap Sun, Cap Rising. Oh my God, double Cap. But my first house covers Capricorn and Aquarius. Right. Peg Fen, emotional manifesting generator. Larry, Satnam. Okay. Can't hear, no sound, but I'm back on. Okay. Jen Goodwin, lots of stomach and eating issues. Can't eat processed foods anymore. Yep. The thing is, as we get more sensitive, like when you raise in vibration, you get more and more sensitive. And you maybe have been treating yourself like you're riding a Pinto, right? And then you got the Ferrari. You can't put the same gas. You can't treat the Pinto the same way as the Ferrari. So it's just about trusting your body during this time. Yeah. Yeah, same here. Same here. Okay. Oh, that's funny. We're on the food thing because North Node in Taurus. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, listen to your intuition about streamlining. Yeah. Yeah. I've been feeling very hungry and depressed, which has not been good for my fitness program. Yeah. Well, you got to cut yourself some slack. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're in a really being pressured during this time. So if you got to sit down with a piece of cake, then sit down with a piece of cake. It's just to allow it, right? Just allow it to be. Allow whatever's coming to you to be. I'm not saying to indulge, but sometimes you just need that little sweetness in life, especially now. We're not really seeing a lot of sweetness out there. Yeah. Can't. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to do an ego card here. Let me see. From the ego deck. Can people relate to the challenges? Like, this usually health, relationship, or finances. Those are the big three challenges. To bring up our deepest fears, right? Do we have an Aries here? Aries sun, rising or moon? Yeah, everybody's tired. Spiritually tired. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to do a quick rundown of all the signs. I wasn't planning to do that, but it will be faster than before. I'll just make it really like under 5 minutes for each one. I can do that, yeah. Okay, let's do here. Because I'm all about uniqueness. My sun is in the 8. Okay, that one's a good one. Okay, so let's do Aries, sun, moon, or rising. So it's right in your first house, Aries. So I'll pick a card. So the solar eclipse is happening in the first house, so there can be chaos and maybe clinging to an old identity, right? Because this is the first house is how you show up in the world. To let that go. Maybe there's going to be chaos around like, who am I? That's a great question to ask yourself is, who am I? Okay, let's do it here. Okay. What do we got for our Aries friends? Aries friends. Which one for Aries? There we go. Okay. You got the 1 is the loneliest number card. Right? For Aries, Aries is feeling all alone. All alone. So, what's the ego telling you, Aries? Is there's nobody out there for you. This is the lies this ego is telling you, which is speaking to in this old identity that's not you. You got to do it all yourself. Nobody's there for you. There's no support for me, right? So just to remember that the truth here, right? And maybe you're clinging on to this old identity that's connected to these old people, right? These old friends maybe or colleagues, and they're dropping away. And it can seem like with the solar eclipse in this time that we're in right now, like everybody's leaving. I have nobody, right? There's nobody on the other side. Well, it's showing you that this identity is dissolving for you. And as this new identity gets resurrected, right? Your authentic self, then you will attract, right? You will attract, right? So just trust. Sometimes we're put in a situation where we have to be alone for a while so that we get to know our frequency. We get to know who we truly are. So don't be clinging, right? Don't be clinging. Okay. That's for Aries. And that's the ego, right? Telling you. You're a big old loser if you're not surrounded by a bunch of people, right? And you can feel way more alone with the wrong people than being alone. Okay, we're Taurus. Taurus is in the 12th house. The solar eclipse is happening in the 12th house. So you're dealing with major cleansing of past lives, right? Dynamics from your past life. There can be chaos. There can be chaos around sleeping too, Taurus. Too, because it's the house of sleeping. So you may have an identity that's been following you lifetime after lifetime that you're letting go of. Okay. And it's the house of patterns too. So it's breaking patterns. And remember that the city, I haven't talked about this, is innocence. This is your inner child. What do we got for Taurus? Taurus. Yeah. So the chaos is the chaotic mind, right? That's trying to make sense of this 12th house. Like, I don't understand this 12th house phenomenon for you, because you're clearing so many patterns, negative limiting patterns from your past lives, old identities from your past lives that are leaving. And then the chaos can come through your mind, right? Can come through your mind trying to understand. I want to understand this, what's happening to me, instead of just letting it move, right? Trust in the process. It's about trusting life. The 3 is about trusting life, right? In spiritual, this is happening on the spiritual realm for you, Taurus. So can bring up intense emotions. So claim your innocence, claim the gift, right? Because again, it's bringing us all into our true home. It's bringing us back to our original self and back into our heart space, right? So to trust your process. That's what that's saying. Okay, anything else for Taurus? And karma, past life karma too, right? For the 12th house. Yeah. Just roll with it. That's what I'm saying. It's just roll with it. But it's not going to be permanent, right? It will come and it will go. You're being cleansed, right? You're being cleansed. Because this is the 12th house is the end of a pattern, right? It's gone around the whole wheel. Yeah. So it can feel really, really deep, right? Okay. And let's go for Gemini. And Gemini's in the 11th house. The solar eclipse. So there can be chaos around your friends. Maybe they're expressing the chaos for you. So solar eclipse could be saying that some old friends got to go, Gemini. So some new ones can come in. So don't be clinging to old friends. Because, you know, life is a mirror, right? And our relationships are mirrors. So if you shift and change, Gemini, the mirror has to shift, right? And if people are not there, they're not going to be a reflection of where you're going and who you're becoming. In your authentic self, it's got to go. They go because the mirror, they've got to shift with that mirror or not. And that it's okay. Don't cling. So what do we have for our Gemini? What do we have for our Gemini friends, please? This one right here. Okay. So this is a complete distrust in your intuition, your intuitive voice, right? And who's talking you, Gemini? Who's talking you out of your voice? Your intuitive voice, this ego. Talking you out of your intuition. No, you can't. That friend you've had for 20 years. You've had that friend for 20 years. They've been with you for through thick and thin. And right? You got to be loyal. I got to show people that I'm a good person. Like a bad person would just dump their friend like this. Right? This is the ego. When clearly your intuition is saying, no, you have to change. You have to move on. And trust. Right? You don't need to carry these friends. And some friends will surprise you. They'll actually shift and change, much to your surprise. So it's just trusting. Sometimes you got to be the community of one. You got to walk on your own for a while, right? And then the friends will come back. Or not come back, but new friends may emerge. Or those friends may come too. Shift it. Yeah. So you know what you should do, so don't allow, that's what this card is saying, you already know, Gemini, you already know, right? And difficulty at the beginning, don't let that stop you. With the 3 is difficulty, right? A momentum, but it's difficult at the beginning. You got to push the rock up the hill, right? And then you get to the top and it rolls on its own. Yeah. So don't let the discomfort, that's what I'm saying. This is for all signs. Let the discomfort stop you from changing, right? The 3 is all about change. And claim your innocence, right? This is where spirit is taking me. I have to trust it. Okay. And then we've got Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And that's in your 10th house. So chaos around career, Cancer. There could be some upsets in your career, your public life. With authority figures, father figures. You can be trying to cling on to this old identity that's connected to your career. Because remember, solar eclipses are all about getting us on our destiny, right? So what's Cancer got? What do we have for our Cancer friends? That one right there. There we go. Cancer is depressed. You got the depression card. So depressed about what's happening in the career. So this is getting stuck in a rut, right? And this is about a loss that you've experienced or about to experience some loss that you can't get over, It's a refusal to get over and to move on. And you can see it as a child, like your child self is throwing the tantrum. Like, I'm not moving on. I need an apology, right? I need amends, right? I need that person to come to me and apologize to me. And this can make you feel exhausted. And it's about fearing your freedom, right? Fearing your freedom. So just because it's the 10th house, it may echo back. Maybe it's a partner, right, that you broke up or something that you haven't gotten over. Still you're harboring resentment. Still you're angry. But it gets manifested as depression, right? Because depression is anger turned inward. To go to your father, that's the echo. You might go back to the father. Yeah. And to give yourself permission to be angry. Cancers aren't good at that, right? Depression's like, I'm going to hide in my shell. I'm just going to stay at home. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to take care of myself, right? And that's your child's self, like having a little tantrum, right? Because your emotions, you need to attend to your emotions, and it's getting played out through your career. See, their challenges, they're not necessarily like linear. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm having financial issues, you may be saying, like I'm being squeezed and really there's no flow coming in. I'm limited. The mind and the ego want to say, well, it's a money problem. If I just had more money, all this would go away, right? But that's not the issue. That's just how it gets expressed. But the real issue is what's going on inside you, what feelings and emotions are coming up, right? That's what you go to. That's where the work is. It just has to get played out somewhere so it can grab your attention, right? So it can grab your attention. Otherwise, we wouldn't look at it as humans, right? So this, what I'm trying to say with Cancer is like it's getting played out in your career. Something's happening in the career, and it's getting you to look like to the deeper, like go deeper inside and address this internalized anger. You're angry at something, right? From the past. But the solar eclipse is going to show you, right? What identity that you're holding on to. That's not you. That's connected to your career. So new energy can come in, right? And be expressed through the career. Okay, Leo. Leo's in the 9th house. So the chaos around your beliefs, right? Chaos around your relationship with the divine, Leo, right? Let's see what we got here. In your worldview, clinging on to a limited worldview, that the solar plexus is going to blow you out of that so you can expand your worldview. Okay, what do we got for our Leo? What do we have for Leo? What do we have for our Leo friends right there? This one here. Okay. Rejection. Okay. You got the rejection card. The ego is telling you to reject the world, Leo. Right? That's this ego right here, Leo. Right? The not self that's being dismantled. This is about rejecting the world before the world rejects you. So the fear is being rejected by the world. Maybe you're feeling rejected by the world. Leo likes to be in the limelight, right? Leo likes to be on center stage. That's who you are. You're ruled by the sun. You want to shine. Maybe the world's rejecting you, right? You feel invisible. Where's my sun? Where's my sun? Who am I? Who am I? Right? If I'm not this identity, right? That makes everybody happy and shines. So the belief here is that the world's rejecting you, right? That's the wrong belief, right? What's true is you're rejecting the world. You are rejecting the world by not being yourself, right? That's what you're doing because you're rejecting your authentic self. That's what the thing with the world, it's a mirror. So it's going to show us how we're showing up in life and who we are. The world shows us who we are. So if you're feeling like you're rejected, that means you're rejecting the world. You're rejecting your authentic self, right? And the 9-2 is about downloads. It's very intuitive, the 9th house, right? And so this is not following your intuition speaking to you, and you're not listening, holding on to this old identity, right? Which can be scary for all of us. Well, who am I if I'm not this? I'm so used to this. I believe that this is me, this old identity, and it's not. Then who am I? Right? I'm going to be lost in the void, in the abyss, So there can be a lot of fear there. But the core wound here is rejection, and that's one of the 6 primal wounds of humanity is rejection and abandonment. Yeah. So just allow a space for that. Sometimes, it can be really easy. It's like being on your own for a while, taking an evening off from social media, right? And just getting your journal out and just express, right? Express this rejection, what this rejection is all about. And then 9th house matters. Like how does avoiding this affect my worldview and how I see the world, This is good. Okay. That's Leo. You're going to see it anyway, Leo, during the solar eclipse. That ego is going to be up in your face, in all of our faces. Okay, let's go for Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. And this is the 8th house. So chaos with your relationship with others, like your marriage partner, that would fit in there in that 8th house. Just mundane. It could be like an inheritance or something like that too. Can create chaos. Clinging to a marriage partner, Virgo, or someone that you rely on for money, for your income. Could even be like government support, right? There's chaos there, upsets there. Okay, what do we got for Virgo? What's the card for Virgo, please? Our Virgo friends. Okay. So you got the gaslight yourself card. So you may be getting gaslit by this partner, this marriage partner, somebody that you depend on for money, right? That you're receiving income. And maybe because survival issues are really up now too, right? That you can be lying to yourself. This is the lying card. I'm lying to myself. Those feelings I'm having, like anger, right? And anger can show you, Virgo, that your boundaries are being overstepped, right? Somebody's overstepping your boundaries. Your solar plexus will let you know if anybody's stepping over your boundaries. And then there you are, like talking yourself out of it. I shouldn't feel this way, right? This person's really good to me. They support me and they take care of all these things around my home and stuff. And meanwhile, like your soul is like so angry, right? So angry. So this is talking yourself out of your feelings. These feelings aren't real, or they're wrong. I'm judging them. And it's not that bad. I could have it worse. You know how we talk ourselves out of our feelings. This is lying to yourself. So and plus it's the 8th house. So it's going to go back to your family in a sense. Like these are deep, deep wounds that have been passed down from your family, right, to you. How maybe your mother right? How your mother dealt with her relationships. Yeah. And completely suppressing her emotions. But the chaos is going to come up, right? Because the moon also represents our emotions, our emotional self. And plus, we've got all those channels activated, Virgo, so you're not going to be able to escape your emotions. It's going to be written like, what do you value? You're not going to be able to escape your emotions. And it's a mutative time, too. So this is about honoring your emotions now, right? And claiming your innocence. And the Virgo archetype is innocent. That's what the Virgin is. It's not about chastity. The Virgin is about innocence, your innocence. That's what you are committed to. I'm committed to my innocence. I'm not committed to this person and this paycheck, right? This money that I'm receiving from this other person. I'm married to my innocence. That's what I trust, right? That's what you're learning as a Virgo. So honoring your feelings. They're communicating to you loud and clear what's not okay, right? What's not okay. 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 And then let's go for Libra. And Libra, of course, it's on the set in the 7th house. Your relationships. So there can be chaos with your relationships. Clinging on to a relationship, Libra. All right. So it could be the chaos is showing you that you got to let go of this relationship so the new one can come in. That's more on your destiny, right? Your destiny path. Okay, what do we got for Libra? What do we have for the Libra? This one right here. Oh. Libra got the victim card. So that's really getting worked on you because the Saturn's been in the 55. That's the shadow of victim. So the victim is like, everything's happening to me, right? That person, that relationship, they're doing this to me. They're doing this to me, right? It's them. Libra's pointing outward. It's them. They're the problem. They're doing it to me. I'm the good one, right? And this is taking no accountability for your experience. That's what the victim is. So that's true freedom. Freedom comes with responsibility, Libra. So you take responsibility for your experience. Ask yourself some questions. Why am I attracting this to me? Why do I keep attracting these kinds of people to me? What is it showing me? You got to look at these people as noble adversaries, right? Your relationships, they're showing you something about yourself. Because our relationships show us our outside, the external. They show us our relationship with our own soul, right? So if you've got somebody that's always, you keep attracting the same frequency, but different body, different name, right? Oh, and they take advantage of me, and I'm so good and I'm so kind. I'm always there with them. I'm so supportive, but they're never there for me. Why do I keep attracting these people? I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Well, it's time to grab a backbone, Libra, and say, no, I'm going to look at this. What is this pattern that's creating this chaos in me, right? The chaotic mind, trying to figure it all out in the chaos with the emotions. I'm going to figure this out, right? Well, this is how you're treating yourself, right? That's how you treat yourself. You're not supporting yourself. You're not listening to yourself, right? So bring it back to you. That's empowering, and this will get you out of this victim consciousness, right? And to claim your innocence, right? So don't stop clinging to these people that aren't good for you. And it's also about letting go of a memory, because victim consciousness can be connected to some kind of traumatic memory from the past that you can't let go of. And that's why these people keep coming in, so that you can see it, right? But the solar eclipse is going to see it. You're going to see it, right? If you're open to it, be open to change, right? The third gate in Gene Key is all about change and mutation. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, you're not a victim. You've had experiences that are shitty. We all have, right? But they don't define who you are, right? So don't let it define who you are, Libra. So it's all about relationships. No surprise there. You're the archetype for relationships. You learn through relationships as a Libra. Yeah. And you're able to see the shadow and the light, right? Because it's balanced. Libra's balanced. So you see the shadow and the light in other people and also yourself, right? That we're all a mixture of both. Okay. Scorpio is a bit like that too. Okay, Scorpio is in the 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So the solar eclipse is happening for the Scorpios, the Scorpions, in the 6th house. So this is work. This is also your health, Scorpio. So you can be going through some chaos with health. Okay. Maybe called to change your diet, right? Your health routine, Scorpio. Okay. What do we got for Scorpio? What do we have for our Scorpio friends? Which card for our Scorpio friends? It's this one here. Do we have another one for our Scorpio friends? Oh, no. Okay. Okay, the Scorpio got the defensive card. Got the defensive card, and that's this ego. So something's trying to get in. Maybe you got the hand up right now. I'm not listening to that, Michael. It's got nothing to do. I know what's good. I know what's right for me, right? My health routine is perfect the way it is. Yeah. And the chaos, because that's the house of crises, right? It can create a crisis, a conflict in you. So this is the ego. And like good things trying to reach you, right? Trying to reach you. Like good advice trying to reach you. Truth is trying to reach you, but the ego's got the hand up. No. Which is such a metaphor for the solar eclipse. The moon, right? Blocking the mind, the past, blocking the light from reaching you, Scorpio. And it's all around your health, right? In your job, things that you do, your habits, your day-to-day habits, right? And this is using the intellect too. Scorpio is a water sign, but they have a strong intellect too, Scorpios. So they can use the intellect to turn the argument back to the other person. Yeah. And you don't trust anyone that comes too close, right? And this is self-sabotage, right? Self-sabotage. So you can see he's cutting down the limb, right? But he's over there, he's going to fall down. So this is a self-destructive habit from childhood. So it's health related. I really get the sense that it's health related for Scorpio. So one part of and this is like I'm committed to my exercise routine, and then, self-destructive pattern could be the night before going on a binge, right? Going on a drinking binge with some friends of habits, not friends of your consciousness, right? And then this, I'm too hungover, I can't work out today. Just like things like that, you're going to see this is a self-saboteur, and that's the identity that will come up, that will be right in your face for the solar eclipse. Yeah. And this is two parts of you, right? The self-saboteur. It's like two egos. There's one ego here and then another one in the other ear. And one's all like, oh, I can't believe I did that, and I was so bad and wrong, and whipping yourself, right? Why did I do that? Or you're blaming these friends for dragging you out on a binge. And then you've got the other ego like, yay, great, we get to stay stuck. right? We get to stay in victim and complain about our health. Meanwhile, we're not making any changes. Yeah. So what I see here is just to become open. Don't let the ego, take it in. And how I work with the ego, if the ego is really up, and I've let people know this too about themselves, is if somebody gives you advice or feedback, you don't say, yes, I totally agree with you, or you don't say, no, you're full of shit and I don't believe any of what you're saying. You just let it go in, right? You just let it go in. It's like, okay, I'm going to meditate on this. Thank you for this feedback. I'm going to meditate on this later. And then it bypasses the ego and it can get in and then it can percolate, right? Especially if it's like big capital T truth coming at you. That ego doesn't want you to hear it. And it's around your health, right? Yeah. So claim your innocence. When you claim your innocence, and this is really difficult for Scorpio, they were born suspicious, right? Scorpios are born suspicious. Is to claim your own innocence. Okay, I'm not going to beat myself out about this bad habit I've been with my health. And then when you claim your innocence, then you can see the innocence in other people and you won't be so suspicious of them either, right? Yeah, because this ego can't live in that frequency of innocence. There we go. So no more undermining actions. And you're going to see it, the solar eclipse, be really open, right? Really open. You're going to see what's going on with the mind and the ego in the past. That's been affecting you. Okay. And then we got Sagittarius right there. And that's taking place in the 5th house. And so the third gate, Sagittarius, this is your inner child, right? It's innocence. That's the city of innocence. And this is the house of play. It's creativity, and it is children. So you may have children yourself, but I want to talk about your own inner child connected to creativity. So there can be chaos there. With your children or your own inner child, there can be some chaos coming up. Clinging to old ways of, because it's a house of pleasure, the things that you enjoy, maybe clinging to things that are not good for you anymore. That used to be enjoyable at one time, they're not for you anymore. So this could be the GMO, right? Just to use food as an example. Oh, I really like that GMO cake, right? I really like that GMO candy bar. And now it's creating chaos in my body, right? It's the house of pleasure, and it's showing that you got to change, like not to cling to these old habits of what you enjoy, what you take pleasure in, because it's all about controlling. It's trying to control, right, your pleasure. That there's new pleasure trying to come in for you. And it's also romance. Sticking to dating the same kinds of people that are not enjoyable for you anymore. Okay, what do we got for Sagittarius here? This one right here. Oh, you got the narcissist card. Okay. Narcissism. Okay. So maybe you're dealing with a narcissist, Sagittarius, in the 5th house, dating a narcissist. Maybe you're too focused on yourself. This isn't about creating shame like Sagittarius or narcissists. We all have a little bit of this because we all have that ego, right? That's me. I'm in love with my ego, Sagittarius. Most of the planet are, right? Because this is identity, this is about letting go of an old identity, Sagittarius. This is what's happening now in the world through this change, these massive transformational changes that we're going through. These old identities have to dissolve. They're not authentic to you, right? So this old identity may have been too focused on yourself, especially with your creativity. Say you're an artist and you're very, very creative, but you're not really looking at like how do I interface my creativity with the whole, the 11th house, right? The whole, the collective of humanity. How will this help humanity, right? It's too focused on the ego and inflating the ego. That's what this narcissism is about here in the 5th house. So that's what I would say the solar eclipse is showing you this identity so that you can really allow creativity to come through. Creativity's not going to come through this, right? This is a block to your creativity. The sun, the self, the higher self, that's the creativity, right? The moon, the ego, the past, the mind, it's blocking your full creative potential. That's what I see for Sagittarius. And it's around this narcissism, which is just the ego, right? It's just the inflation of the ego, narcissism. And it's denying others. The ego is like, oh, it's all about me and what do I get, right? I deny everybody else out here. Just all about me. And it's a superiority complex. I'm better than everybody else. So, because the 3 is very creative, right? The 3, the solar plexus in the 3rd gate. So it's about claiming your innocence, not shaming yourself. Oh my God, I'm a narcissist. No, it's about claiming your innocence, right? Claiming your innocence and letting that creativity flow through. So there can be deep insecurity because what is this ego hiding? What's this narcissistic ego hiding? And you may say, well, that's not me, but I've got a narcissist in my life that I'm dating. Well, it is you because you've attracted it to you, right? So the mirror doesn't lie, right? It's showing you that you have narcissistic tendencies too, right? So what's behind this, right? Because this is a superiority complex. Well, that means you got the opposite. You got the inferiority complex, right? So the ego comes with deep insecurity. That person that's like a narcissist and a big blowfish and it's all about me. They're deeply insecure. If you know narcissists, that's what's really the essence of them, is deeply, deeply insecure, because this ego is deeply insecure. Ego is not confident, right? Because it's not connected to the divine. It's getting all its power from the external, from other people. So that's what you have to face, Sagittarius. What's behind this inflated ego? You're going to find the deflated ego, and after that, you're going to find your greater self, right? Your greater self. So remember, with ego identity, it always comes with emotions. So it's letting go of those emotions. Yeah. And then this is going to really affect your creativity, right? Your creative life. Anything else for that? And then your inner child can be set free, right? That's your divine child, can be set free. Okay. Let's go for Capricorn. The Capricorns. And that's going to be in your 4th house, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So chaos in the family. Chaos in your home, Capricorn. Maybe you're being called to move, right? And you're clinging to that house for dear life. Maybe you're clinging on to your mother, right? This identity that's connected to your mother, like you're always in the child role with your mother. Or you're always in the parent role with your mother, because you can have the opposite too, right? The roles can be flipped. Okay, what do we got for Capricorn? So something about home. Okay, and what do we got for Capricorn? What's the card for Capricorn? What's the card for Capricorn? Okay. You got the fishing for compliments card. The ego. More ego trip. This is not valuing yourself. It's not recognizing yourself and looking for compliments maybe through a mother figure, Capricorn, because it's the 4th house. Maybe your mother, your earthly mother, never gave you a compliment. You know, you hear this about superstars, right? They're like the top of their field, like the top singer in their field. They're packing the houses. Thousands and thousands of people are coming to see them, and they get worshipped, but it's never enough, right? The compliments are never enough because they want that compliment from their parent, right? That caregiver, that mother figure, and they're never going to get it. They're never going to get it. This is the thing I tell people. It's like our parents or parental figures in our life. They sign a soul contract with us. And the soul contract could be, I will never, ever give you a compliment, period. Right? And that's their role, right? So these superstars can have millions of followers, right? Praise thrown at them left and right. Applause, right? They're all in the magazines. They're famous. Still, they're miserable because they're not getting it from that one person that signed the contract, right? So it's showing you that you got to give it to yourself, right? So this is the ego identity, because this is all about letting go of this old identity, Capricorn, that's being dismantled for this time. This ego identity that needs this constant validation from other people, needs compliments from other people. And it's a black hole. It's never, never enough, right? And this comes from a deep insecurity, like I said, with Sagittarius. This ego is made of insecurity, right? So with the solar plexus, you're going to see that mind the solar eclipse, you're going to see that ego identity is going to be right up in your face. I can't believe it. I see it now, right? I can see it now. It's in my face, how I'm looking. I'm trying to throw a harpoon in everybody, right? I need them to validate. And what's the validation? It's to feed this ego. But it goes back to home, needing that for people that you live with, maybe your family, but it's going to be your mother, right? Or your family of origin. Somebody's not giving you the compliment that you want, and they're never going to give it to you. You have to recognize, especially if you're a projector, right? You got to recognize yourself first. So you got to recognize yourself, give yourself a compliment, and it's got to be authentic. Can't be for this ego. It's got to be about your authentic self, right? Yeah. So you got to give it to yourself. That's what this card is saying for the solar. In this way, your innocence comes back, Capricorn. Your innocence will come back. And Capricorns aren't going to like to admit that, right? The fourth house, that's the emotions. They don't want to admit that they have feelings, but it's going to be right up in your face, right? This solar eclipse is very emotional time. So that's the Capricorn. And let's go for Aquarius. And that's going to be in the third house, right? Here we go. The third house. The eclipse is happening in your third house. So this is your thinking, Aquarius. So remember with the eclipse, right? That moon, mind past ego. It's blocking the sun. It's blocking the sun, the illumination, so that you can really focus in and zone in on this ego, right? This ego identity that's dissolving. And there's going to be chaos with your neighbors, chaos with your siblings. But the root of it is about your thinking. It's about your thinking. Yeah. New neural pathways have to be formed for the Aquarians. Okay, what card do we have for Aquarius? This one right here. Oh, Aquarians are wearing a mask. You got the wearing a mask card. So this ego identity wants you hiding, right? Wants you hiding, not telling people how you think, not giving your opinion, not your insight. Remember, Aquarius, they're the rebels. Aquarius is the whistleblowers, right? There can be groupthink all around them, right? People talking trash, obvious lies. The one Aquarian in the group will stand up and say the emperor's got no clothes on, right? I love that story. That's you, right? And here you are. You're going to be face to face with that mind, that ego identity that wants you hiding. You're not here to hide, not in this lifetime as an Aquarius sun, moon, rising, right? So this is about not showing your real self, biting your tongue. I'm thinking this and I'm just keeping it to myself because I want to keep the peace. I don't want to be the rebel. I don't want to be outcasted, right? That's Aquarius. So not revealing your passions, your dreams, your vulnerability, right? And then the ego, what the ego will tell you, you'll be an outcast, you'll be rejected, right? And so this can be with your siblings too. Maybe you're biting your tongue around your siblings, not speaking your mind and what's really going on up here. So this is about being your authentic self, Aquarius, and speaking your mind, right? So if you're a projector, you're waiting to be invited to speak, right? If you're a generator, manifesting generator, you're responding to the right moment, you know? And if you're a manifester, of course, you'll be inspired to speak. An Aquarius manifester, yeah. And claim your innocence, like that little boy in Emperor's Got No Clothes. In his innocence, which is truth, right? Spoke the truth. And as soon as you speak the truth, you break the spell. You break the spell, right? The groups can be under mass formation psychosis. We're seeing this out in the world. They're completely brainwashed. But all it takes is one person to speak the truth, right? Because it's a frequency, and then it's a reminder. Yeah, I see what you see, Aquarius. Thank you for speaking. Thank you for playing your role in this lifetime as an Aquarius, that archetype of the whistleblower. Because it doesn't serve anybody if you stay under a mask like everybody else. You're not here to be wearing a mask, right? Not in this lifetime, right? You're here to blow the whistle, right? Speak the truth. And then the great thing is you speak the truth and then you attract all those other people that are going to appreciate it. Thank you for speaking the truth, Aquarius. I so appreciate it. It's like I relax. Right? My body relaxes. My mind relaxes. Yeah. So it's about your communication. That's what this solar eclipse is going to show you. It's about communicating now. That's the third house. Is communication, writing, speaking, right? Maybe you'll be called to do a blog or a video, right? A video blog, something like that. That's great. Okay. And let's finish it off with Pisces, the fish. And that's going to be in your second house, Pisces. Solar eclipse in your second house. So this will be some chaos maybe around your finances. For good or bad. Could be a loss or a gain. Sudden loss or gain. But it's really creating chaos about your own sense of self-value. Do you value yourself as a Pisces? The most spiritual sign of the 12 archetypes. Okay. Let's see. What do we got for Pisces? What's the card we have for Pisces? Oh. Pisces wants to give up. Pisces has an identity that's telling you it's hopeless. It's too much. The world is like in shambles. It's just way too much to give up. Give up. I think we can all relate to this. That's why I love that Pisces is at the end, because it's like the reflector, right? It's the wrap up for all the other signs. And we've all been feeling this. Like that's what the exhaustion is, right? The battle weary. as spiritual beings. And it's, well, I haven't been doing anything, Michael. You've been doing a lot. You've been holding your light, right? That can be exhausting when you're holding the light, right? When you're holding the light, you're fending off the darkness, holding your light, holding your vision, right? For a brighter future. So this is about persevering and knowing your value, just because it's in the second house, right? Knowing your value as a Pisces, of just holding the light, holding the frequency of compassion, that's Pisces. Holding the frequency of forgiveness, that's Pisces. Holding the frequency of unity. Pisces understands that, right? Unity. So this is about persevering. The solar eclipse is going to illuminate Pisces. See, it's illuminating the moon, right? For you. This is when you're going to see the mind, the past, the ego. You're going to see this identity that wants you hiding, right? That doesn't value. I have no value on this planet, right? It completely goes against, for all Piscean values, our materialist planet, right? Pisces is not material. They're not an earth sign, right? They're the deepest water sign is Pisces. So this is saying to persevere, right? To persevere. That in one of the sutras for the Aquarian ages, there's a way through every block. So maybe you will, the solar eclipse will bring financial chaos for you in some form, so that you can rise, you can transcend, right? And so to know that there's a way through every block, Pisces. So there's a difference between a block and meeting resistance, right? So meeting resistance is like I keep doing the same old, right? I'm clinging to the old ways of making money and earning money. I'm clinging to that. And I'm clearly, it's resistance. It's not a block. It's complete resistance. In that way, it's like you're banging your head against the wall. You're not getting anywhere. You're exhausting yourself by clinging to the old. That's not what the sutra is about. The sutra is about, here's a block. And what does a block mean? That I transcend, right? That I transcend. I just posted a meme today that sorrow is about looking to the past, and worry is about looking around you, and faith is looking above, right? Faith is looking to your higher self. That's what you want to bring. That's what you transcend the block by faith. I have faith. I have faith in myself because I'm made in the image of the divine, and the divine is inside me. I have everything that I need, right? I value that. I value my divinity, and I persevere. And the solar eclipse is saying there's a victory that's coming. So, right, you're the marathon runner. We all can relate to this, right? And there's victory that's coming. That's close. And I just want to remind everybody in Pisces that this is a time to celebrate. It's a time to have gratitude and appreciation. It's a time to be at home. And this means to be with your being, with your soul. That's your true home. You could not have a house, like living on the streets. Doesn't mean you're homeless, right? Your home is inside. It's inside you. Right? So you want to go through, these are the questions that I asked the other signs, right? You've gone through a period of rapid growth and expansion. We all have since 2020. So it's time to just take a moment to reflect on this and have gratitude and appreciation for your spiritual effort, right? It's not hopeless. It's not hopeless. The ego wants you to believe that, right? It's hopeless. Just give up. Get out. Get off this planet. Right? It's not working. You've got no value. You don't belong here. Right? You don't want to listen to any of that. Right? This is what's pulling you away from your power and your authenticity. Right? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sea Moon. Thanks, Mom. Laugh out loud. That it's a good idea too to look at the signs of people in your life too, because it helps you understand them as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of spontaneous. I wasn't expecting to do all 12 signs, but that's what the energy was calling us for. And then keep your eyes open for the prosperity class, and that will be next week. And there's still room to come into the soul purpose webinar, soul purpose activation webinar series. The last class is on Sunday. That's coming up, and that's really good. It's going to be all on soul contracts. So if you're interested in that, there's still time to join in. And of course, I've got recorded readings, and you can check out all that in the links below. Okay? And then my newsletter. If you're not on my newsletter, it'd be a good idea to sign up, and then you're alerted, right, to when the live streams are going to happen. Okay? So I'll talk to you soon, everybody, and have a great day or evening. And prepare for the solar eclipse. Have some time. Make sure you make some time for yourself to be on your own, and so you can listen to the guidance that's coming, right, for all of us. Okay. Satnam Aloha, everyone. Bye-bye.